Hello, crafting friends. This is Cheryl Ann, and it's Monday, January 8th, 2018. I'm coming to you today to talk about lined paper and paper in general. Where do you find lined paper? How do you use it? What are some good sources? Can you make your own? And those kinds of questions. I have a little music on in the background because my hard drive is going out on my laptop and it either runs all the time or it just all of a sudden shuts down and then won't restart. So my compromise is to have some nice music in the background. So I'm on several Facebook groups, and one gal was asking, well, where do you get lined paper and how do you do your own? And so I think I'm going to start with this. This was my own that I did. It's just plain paper, and I had some of the coffee, instant coffee. I find that the instant works better than my own brew. So I had some left, so after coffee dyeing a bunch of paper. So I just got a piece of cardboard, and you take the flat part off. You want to get the ridge part. And see, this is where I went a little too deep, but I kind of like the effect. So I just dipped the cardboard in the coffee and then put it on my paper. And I had about 5 or 6 sheets before my cardboard just disintegrated. So what I did was I went to Staples and I asked them to photocopy this. I think I made 20 copies, so it wasn't too expensive. I can't find any of my copies, of course, but so I guess it's time to make another 20 copies. And then not wanting to get my husband involved because, he doesn't like me to use his printer for anything except life and death situations. So I just sat down with a Sharpie pen and I just drew lines with a ruler on paper. And again, this is actually two-sided copy. So I went to Staples and had them make about, I think, 25 of this one. And this is just a copy of the previous one that I hand drew. And what I did on this one is I just attached, this is a napkin, just to have something different. So it wasn't just plain. So I hope that gives you some ideas. So finally, my husband looked up from his news shows and said, "What are you doing?" And when I explained to him, he goes, "Oh, don't do that. I'll find you some paper." So he found me this really, try to get it in focus here, really nice paper. I said, I need paper that goes horizontal, not vertical, because we all have vertical paper. But when you fold this, again, you get the lines going in the right direction, because I know for some people that's been a problem. So, of course, here's my one sheet left of that's the cardboard one. So it's real light. So I went back to Staples and said, can you make some of this in different colors? So, I had to go pick out the colors. So I had it in blue and green, and I only have one blue left, and maybe about 5 or 6 of the green. Then he found this one for me, and I was like, oh, I'm so appreciative because it has the music staff. I actually haven't used this one in any of my journals yet. But during the summer when Target had all their paper on sale, I ran up there and bought some of their reams of, it's 175 wide ruled sheets. Now, this is perfect if you're doing an altered book. You can trim it and fit it right in and glue it to the pages. But if you're doing a journal, see, if you fold it in half, you get something like this. And I don't know about you, but I don't like the lines going down. I want them across. One thing you can do is these cheap composition books. They're at the dollar store for $1. I got mine for 50 cents each, again, at Target when they were on sale this summer. And these are actually stitched in, so you can pull them right out. You can coffee dye them. All of mine, I've used all of mine. I went through a whole book. So I need to rip these out of this one and either coffee dye. Man, I might coffee dye half of them. I don't like to coffee dye everything, but these are a good size. And if you pull them out, I'll show you here. I actually pulled this one out. This one did tear. They don't usually tear. You can usually just pull them right out, but they will fit right in your journals. You may have to trim a little bit off the top, but they usually do fit in. So again, this is just the composition book paper. Relatively cheap. It's $1 for this whole book, and there are 100 sheets or 200 pages in the book. And then a lot of people like to use ledger paper, and I didn't really catch on to that right away. I'm like, why do you put ledger paper in your journals? But, you know, it is kind of interesting. Actually, these are actually some I found out in the garage, and, you know, these things are 40 years old. My dad was an accountant, and I have some of his accounting books, but all the pages are gone. There aren't any ledger pages, but I kind of do like the ledger paper. It is kind of interesting. So if you have ledger paper, again, that's something you can use. Another kind of paper you can use are just these college ruled, the spiral bound. I kind of like the look when the edges are kind of frayed, when these are torn out. I kind of like that look. I like kind of the old look. I don't like everything lined. I'm not linear. I don't like things lined up. Our daughter and my husband are like that. And they drive someone like me crazy, but my son and I, we drive them crazy. So I guess we're at a standoff here. But that is something else you can use. Just be aware if you put it in your journal, again, the lines, if you fold it in half, the lines are going to go up and down, not horizontally. And if that bothers you, you know, you might want to get another paper, or if it doesn't bother you, it's fine. One time this fall, fall is, you know, the evenings are long, so I was sitting at home. This is just some white paper that I had some spray dyes that I was using, and I put them down on the bubble wrap, and the bubble wrap absorbed all the colors, so I just let these dry on the bubble wrap. So you can kind of see how those came out. This is some of the composition book paper that's been dyed, coffee dyed. Here's one actually sprayed on that one. Let's see, you notice how the lines are going horizontally with the composition book paper. I kind of like how these lines picked up the colors. Again, just more spraying. I think every other page here is a sprayed one. So I don't want to bore you with this whole book, but you can get the idea. For the composition book paper, I basically just took this. It was, I don't know, it had something with our address on it, and I thought, ooh, I like that cover. So I haven't finished the cover yet, but it gives you see what I mean? I don't like straight lines, so every page in here is, I use my fancy scissors and I cut it out, because I don't like things lined up straight. Of course, this isn't lined paper, but I'm always on the lookout for a nice wrapping paper, because you can use wrapping paper too. And there's the back side. So, you know, that's something to think about for birthdays and whenever you have wrapping paper that you can glum onto. Oh, and before I forget, if you get packages from Amazon, this brown paper, oh my God, it's to die for. Every time my husband gets an Amazon package now, he gets quite a few because he just sits at home and orders stuff. I run out to see, does it have that brown paper? I want it, and I run off into the other room with it, and he thinks I'm totally nuts. But this stuff, just listen to it. Oh, and it's got a nice, it's heavy, but it's not too heavy. It's heavier than copy paper, but it's not cardstock. So if you can get your hands on that, keep it. Okay, obviously we're beyond lined paper, but if you can find stationery, like Walmart has, some of these I think are just a couple bucks. when I was a teacher, I was always on the hunt for paper. And again, you're going to fold it in half unless you can make an altered book. Some of these I've used in my altered books that are in my Etsy store. These are just too nice. I mean, how can you resist these papers, right? Oh, here's one that's one of my early ones. But see, again, if you fold it, the lines aren't going the right way. A beautiful horse one. Love this children's one. It's one of my own personalized. And then a fall one. One with a globe. I just, I can't throw them out. There's another one. Don't overlook the little, these were like $1 in the dollar bin at Michael's. Sometimes, the 99, oops, no, it's upside down. The Dollar Tree has some of these too. They're really pretty and colorful, and you can always glue these or sew them on your papers. I had this one left over from school, so sometimes I use that. Then, if you start getting into the designer paper, you're going to pay more. I do have this one, which looks kind of old and vintage. This one was only $2. I don't remember where I got it with the scroll. This one I ordered on I think it was Amazon. And here's some more I ordered. I'm a real paperholic. I just love papers. I don't want to bore you with every paper that I have, but these are just some of these I picked up at Walmart. Some of these were staples. Some of these were Office Depot, Office Max. You're going to pay a lot for these, but I had to have the tree one. And then I found this one with the ivy. I like that one. This one's gorgeous. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Oh, gorgeous. There's the info on it. I don't know where I got it. Again, more ivy. This is $2.99. I think I got this one at Hobby Lobby. Really pretty. Sometimes you have to spend a little more to get what you want. So I hope this video has helped you. If you have any questions, please ask and I'll try to answer it. I'm not really a pro yet, but I am learning as I go. So happy crafting, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.